How are we doing, guys? Welcome back to 𝐅𝐍. It's the player ratings for Brentford 5, Leeds United 2. This is going to be positive. This is going to be a very positive player ratings, isn't it, Phil?
No comment.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, the better option is just giving a number on the player, like it says they're a rating, and then just saying no comment. That's probably the way to go.
I must admit, there's going to be quite a few in here where I'm just like, if I say more than a number and a sentence, I will get us demonetized. So I'm a bit worried, but fuck it, we'll see how it goes.
Let's see. Guys, please smash that like button if you haven't done already. Hit the subscribe button as well. Check out our other post-match content as well. But stay on here though, guys, for the time being. We're going to start with Illan Meslier. Phil, do you want to start us off?
I feel harsh, but like to be honest, the way that I've done it,
was he at fault for any of the goals for you?
I think he could have done better with some of the ones in the second half, to be honest. But in the first half, you can't say anything about the penalty. You can't say anything about the free kick because that's just world class. Yeah. But maybe a couple in this. I mean, the one where he goes fucking walkabout in the second half, that takes at least one.
The 3-2, not the 3-1 goal.
Tony's hat-trick goal, where he thinks Robin Koch from about 30 yards and nutmegs Llorente on his way through. Like from that point of view, I think he can do better there, a lot better. The last goal as well, maybe he gets beaten at his near post there, but I mean defensively, it was a fucking shambles today. Absolute fucking shambles. There's going to be very few people in the back 4 or 5 that get away with anything. And there is obviously points in the game where he makes big saves. He kept us in the game at the time and kept the score down. His distribution wasn't bad, but to give anyone more than a 6, to be honest, today would be really pushing it, especially in that back 5. So I went with a 6, but yeah, like, at the end of the game, I actually looked at my ratings and they were all a lot higher than I thought any of these people deserve. So I've took like basically either a half or a full mark off everyone, depending on how much I wanted to actually hurt them at the end of the game. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get on to the players that I want to physically maim later on. Meslier is not one of them.
Right, let's move on to which side of the back 4. Let's start with Cody Drama. Cody Drama comes in for a first Premier League start.
Yeah.
I don't know really. Is that when you concede 5? It's quite difficult to. Was he at fault specifically for any of the goals?
No, I don't think he was necessarily at fault for any of the goals.
5?
Yeah, I mean, I gave him a 5. I think that the right hand side of the defence looked a lot less shaky than the left hand side, which is something I can say in his favour. I think
it's not exactly difficult though.
No, I'm trying to.
I mean,
like you said, mate. I'm trying to find
side of me at right back and you as a stalwart centre back would probably have been more sturdy than the left side of the back 4 this afternoon.
Yeah. So yeah, I gave him a 5, but I think if you look at when 𝐃𝐄𝐃𝐄 came on, I think 𝐃𝐄𝐃𝐃, despite obviously the goals all sort of pouring in at the end, I think he offered us a lot more going forward than Drama did when he came on 𝐿ing, and obviously we'll get to the subs and stuff. But yeah, I don't think he offered a right lot going forward. It wasn't for a lack of effort. I just think he didn't really get too much involvement. He didn't look anywhere near as defensively bad as he did against Arsenal last season, so maybe that's an improvement. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that he's been part of a game that's just fucking shambolic from most kind of aspects, really.
Okay, let's move on to Robin Koch. I mean, you were quite well, I wouldn't say positive about Robin Koch, but you were surprised me by your rating for Robin Koch. I thought you'd gone a lot lower, but you went 6 on Robin Koch.
Mate, I mean, he's the best of a really bad back 4. Put it that way.
That just by a 6, though.
At times, I had him slightly higher. To be honest, I mean, there was a few last-ditch blocks again, like the same with Meslier. That between the two of them, they did keep the score down. Obviously, there were some moments that were also pretty fucking bad. As a centre-back partnership, I never want to see these two start together again. That's more a reflection on who we're coming on to next. But yeah, I think in terms of the back 4. you'd struggle to tell me that anyone deserves a higher rating than Robin Koch. But yeah, if you want to argue my number and bring it down, I'm not exactly in the mood to argue on bringing ratings up today. So knock it down. All
six
like,
feels
mate.
a bit high to me, considering some of the players we have given a 6 over the season. I think I'm going to have to overrule here and say a 5, but I do need to sort out a bit of buzzing over there. I'm just going to leave it to you on Diego Llorente. Take the floor.
Yeah, that buzzing. Yeah, okay. Wow. How do I go about doing this? Oh, fuck off. He's actually genuinely left me as well. How do I do this without getting us in too much trouble? Mate, I sent my missus 3 texts throughout the game. Within 4 minutes of kickoff, I sent her one saying, I can tell we're already going to get dicked here. About 20 past 4, so just into the second half, I think, about the VAR decision for us. Game's a fucking joke. Refs are see you next Tuesday. Commentators are see you next Tuesday. Players are shit. Absolute joke. And then about 2 minutes before full time, I think I'm going to kill Diego Llorente. So, yeah, I know I don't ever really like to fully pile in on a player, but he's had his chances and he's fucking wasted them. Like, he can't play in a Leeds shirt again. If he's playing against fucking Forest next Monday night, I'm going to be there. I will get to the stadium early just to boo his fucking name. I don't care if that makes me sound shit. Like, he's not been good enough for a very long time now, but the amount of times in one fucking game that he can make big mistakes that cost us, and it's fucking embarrassing. It's not even like it's a bit unlucky here and there. You're taking the piss with that 5th goal. Absolutely taking the piss. And, you know, I thought I was being really nice giving him a 3. There's people there giving him 0s. Chris said he don't even deserve a 0. Loads of people going lower than 3, which, yeah, fair enough. Can't fucking stand him. Genuinely don't want to see him in a Leeds shirt. If Liam Cooper is half fit, get him in. Charlie Cresswell's at fucking Millwall for no bastard reason while we've got this fucking money-grabbing twat playing centre-half and just making an absolute shit show. I mean, the goal that we've conceded the other night against fucking Everton, all he needs to do is stand still, let the ball hit him. But instead, he just moves out of the way and they score. And it's every fucking game. Cooper's fit now. He's clearly ready. He's on the bench. Or fucking Ayling comes on. Put Ayling there. Put fucking anyone there. Just not him. He cannot start. He can't even play against Forest. And to be honest, if he doesn't play for the rest of the season, it's far too soon. He's had his chances. He can fuck off now. Yeah, I went 3. Feel free to knock it down.
Let's move on. You've had your rant. I've sorted out what I've sorted out. I mean, I was all over the place in the background there, guys. I was just letting Phil get on with it. I didn't even hear half what Phil was saying, but I thought, right, now is the time to step in and move this one along. Pascal Struijk. Pascal.
I can only assume with Pascal. Did you understand why Jack Harrison got taken off at half time? I could only assume it was because the left-hand side looked shit, but I'd blame that more on Llorente.
Well, I personally didn't understand that one. If I'm being honest, I can't think of any justification for taking Jack Harrison off. Whether he might have had an injury, he might have been carrying something. I don't know, but I cannot see why Jack came off because I thought as the half wore on, I thought, again, we're not talking about Jack Harrison, but ultimately, if we're not going to put in Liam Cooper, there's a case for Pascal. I just think ultimately we need a left-footed, left-sided centre-back. I don't think that's a hot take. Whether it's Pascal, Liam Cooper, it has to be a left-footer on that side for me. People are talking about Charlie Cresswell. Again, I don't think it's the case of Charlie Cresswell. Obviously, I know Charlie Cresswell's done anything alone. But I'm saying that I don't think today was on us not having Charlie Cresswell in the team. I just think we need a left-footed centre-back on that left side of the back 4. Again, I'm not sure how far away 𝐵𝐵 is. I'm not sure who else can play left back if Pascal does move across. But ultimately, I think Pascal will be better for having Liam Cooper to the side of him than someone who's not suited to playing the role that he's playing at this moment in time. So, what number? I can't even think of a number for Pascal really. 4, 5. I don't know.
I went 5, but the substitution. To be honest, I think we're going to get quite a hefty fine for a few reasons from this game. One of them being, I don't know if you noticed, but we actually broke the laws with the subs. We made 4 different windows. So we made the substitution at half time to bring Bamford on. We made 2 substitutions at the same time to bring Somerville and Click on. Then we made...
Don't draw attention to it, Phil. Don't draw attention to it. They might not realise yet.
No, the whole day is fucking shambolic, mate. They deserve what they're going to get. I mean, from my point of view, and we can talk about the standard of refereeing, which was a fucking joke all day as well. But
it needs a mention, doesn't it? I've been very critical in my post-match about our defending, but I've got to say as well, just two things.
Yeah.
Ivan Toney's performance was unbelievable. Ivan Toney ultimately was the difference between the two teams, I felt. Probably one of the best centre-forward performances I've seen against us since we got back into this league. Yeah. And second thing is, even with a good refereeing performance, we still lose the game for me. But, dearie me. I'm speechless at some of the decisions.
It's a shocker.
VAR has got question marks as well. The time it took to make some of the decisions, I think it was 4 minutes to decide on the penalty.
Yeah.
It was another 3 minutes on the 4th goal from the kickoff. Yeah. This is not what VAR is about. The refereeing needs sorting out. We've had, it's not just bad decisions. It's just general incompetence, not being able to understand how to win a football match. The Everton game, I thought, was even worse because you could have solved that whole time problem issue of the game just by
booking Pickford.
Just by booking Pickford or booking the players who are doing it. You solve it on thing. It's just the lack of common sense amongst the referees is laughable. And, it's all this about protect the referees or you can't criticise referees. They get abused here and there. At the end of the day, you do a job, you're going to get criticism. You're going to get criticism. And when you show so much arrogance, general lack of, what's probably the best word for it? General lack of professionalism towards your profession. I think it is professionalism. If you lose control of the game the way some referees have in the last couple of weeks for Leeds, you deserve criticism. I'm saying some of it goes way over the top. Let's not beat around the bush. Some of it goes way over the top. But referees deserve criticism. Now is the time where referees have to be answerable to their decisions. It's got to a point now where it's not. Listen, we'd have lost this game heavily anyway. I still think. Yeah. It's probably 1 or 2 goals was lost today. We still would have lost the game. Brentford were better than us on the day. Tony was unbelievable. I'm not going to deny that. But it's got to a point now, post-match interviews with referees are needed. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Mate, I agree. The point I was about to make about the substitution thing, obviously...
Ex-players should be referees. Ex-players should be referees.
Yeah, but ex-players...
They've never kicked a football in their life. They don't understand the game. The Everton game was a prime example. They don't understand the game. If they'd have booked Pickford straight away, you can get a free-flowing football match where there's no time wasting at all. Yeah. It's just... I'm speechless, mate. I'm speechless.
Yeah, mate, on the refereeing, the reason I brought the substitution thing up, let's be honest, there's me bringing it up on here is not going to get us fined. Doing it in the fucking first place is going to get us fined. But the Greenwood sub, there's no misunderstanding here. We've used 4 different substitution windows when we're only allowed to use 3. But for me, as much as...
Is that a fine?
We'll be charged we'll be charged by the FA and we'll get a heavy fine. It'll probably be, knowing I'll look, fucking 200 grand again, but nobody else is to pay it this time. But
I think if it is a fine, we've got away with one there. I think it's a massive warning that if it is a fine, because you think about it, really, it's like
it's breaking the rules.
Well, it's not just breaking the rules. It's actually breaking the rules on the pitch. So hopefully it is just a fine, or nothing happens at all of it, and it's just a slap on the wrist. But let's see. Let's move on to the midfield.
No, 1 minute. I need to go into this. The reason I brought it up in the first place, mate, is because obviously everything that you said about referees, but this on top. Yes, we will probably get a fine for it, or at least we'll be charged by the FA. Surely, with it being a rule of the FAs, and you've got someone on the pitch in charge of fucking managing those rules and putting those rules into practice, surely he should also be fined for allowing that shit to happen. Like, you've got a fucking book where you write it down, mate. The 4th official's there. How many fucking referees do you need to ensure that doesn't happen? The VAR thing, like you said, far too long on every decision, but in terms of not taking away from Brentford's performance, they were a much better team than us. They deserved the win. Even if Ivan Toney wasn't on the pitch, they'd probably still fucking beat us. We were that bad. But yes, he was the difference. But in terms of the first VAR decision, the fact that the referee initially didn't even think it was a foul, then they decide to go to VAR for a potential handball, can't prove it's a handball. They try and go to VAR to prove it's a foul. if the referee is being called over to the monitor, it's because VAR themselves haven't actually got the balls to say, you were clearly and obviously wrong in your initial decision. They brought him over to the monitor. He's then gone and had a look and overruled VAR because they couldn't be asked to overrule him and overruled himself. He's gone through about 10 different changes and decided it's a yellow card for something that he never initially thought was a foul when he was fucking 10 feet closer in the first place. The whole thing's just a shambles. He's bottled the decision. And then when you actually look at the Somerville one, even if you just give a free kick outside the box, there's a clear shirt pull. If it's not a penalty, it's not a penalty. But there's a shirt pull, it's a foul. That is a yellow card. That's more of a penalty. That's more of a yellow card than ours was. It's bollocks, mate. They've bottled so many decisions today. And just the fact that we will end up getting a fine for, first of all, the substitution thing. We'll get a fine for not being able to control our manager. We'll be getting a suspended manager.
Yeah,
when, to be honest,
if this is correct, then Phil is just basically...
Mate, that's 100% not true. 100% not true. It still counts as one of the windows. It still counts as one of the windows if you're making substitutions.
I'd have thought so.
You're allowed to make substitutions at 3 different intervals. You're allowed 5 subs at 3 intervals. We use 4 different intervals. It's a breaking of the rules. We will get fined for it. But regardless, mate, the referees are a joke. It's an absolute piss take. So, yeah, I mean, when the attitude of the people in charge of the game is that bad, genuinely speaking, I think it's a nonsense. But I don't think Mark should have got.
I'm just sick and tired of them defending each other as well. You know, you watch that Sky ref watching that lot, and you got people like Dermot Gallagher, saying, "Oh no, 100% the correct decision." When come on, it's clearly not the correct decision. The referee who made the decision himself will admit it's the wrong decision. It's just I can't be doing with it. I can't be doing with it. It's the jobs for the boys kind of mentality amongst referees at this moment in time. This is why they deserve criticism, and they need to be answerable. It needs to be answerable. Any other sport, your referee and regulatory body, whatever, there's always in any sport there is going to be some kind of form of referee, who's going to have to regulate the rules and make sure the rules are being followed. They are always answerable. Referees never are. Referees never are answerable, and there's never any consequence to a poor refereeing decision. There never is. No. They might get relegated to manage a championship game, but they'll be back managing in the Premier League. Refereeing in the Premier League a week later. There's no consequence at all to their actions. There's no consequence anymore. Any other sport, you make a poor decision that, really, really negligently poor decision. There's consequences, but there isn't in the Premier League. There needs to be complete reform.
Yeah.
Independent regulator of the referees, more ex-player involvement, especially with VAR, because ex-players understand the game a lot better than what referees do. I'm sorry, but that is the case. They understand why someone's gone down easy or gone down looking for a foul or, different bits and pieces like that. For me, let's move on. I don't want to talk too much about this now. Let's move on to the midfield. Tyler Adams, mate. Talk to me about Tyler Adams.
I mean, I don't think we should be giving man of the match to anyone, but if we did, maybe Tyler Adams for me did his usual, won the ball back a lot, was really instrumental in sort of getting us forward. I thought he was decent, but I've given him a 7. I don't think anyone deserves a 7 today, but that's why I've gone. Chris has gone 6. So I don't feel too bad that I've gone that high, but yeah.
I thought Tyler was good. I thought Tyler was winning 50-50s. And again, the next bit of the ratings in terms of the forward areas, the midfield and forward areas, I actually thought were pretty good today. I actually thought we created a lot of chances. I think I saw something about the XG then. We created a lot of chances today.
We created more chances than they did.
The front 6, I thought, for large parts of the game, it wasn't perfect. I'm not saying it's been perfect. It's been better at different times this season. But it did its job. That didn't cost us the game today. So I've got no problem giving Tyler Adams a pretty decent 7 out of 10 rating. Let's move on to Marc Roca. Again, I've gone similar. I think obviously the goal helps things. He got forward well. Could have actually had a couple, to be fair, Marc Roca. Maybe first half, not so good, but second half, I thought he really picked it up. And I've gone 7 as well, mate, on Marc Roca.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've disagreed on that one quite a lot. I thought Matt Rocker was fucking dreadful. In all honesty,
Why? What did Mark Rocker do? It's so bad today,
mate. The reason I text my missus within the first 60 seconds to say we're getting dicked today, straight from kickoff, pass out of play. The amount of times there was passes out of play, the amount of times there was loose passes straight. If Rodrigo passes the ball to their team as many times as Rocker did today, everyone's on it. Trust me, mate. His passing accuracy today was a fucking joke. Tyler Adams is a far better footballer than Matt Rocker based on what I've seen so far. I know we disagree a little bit on this one, but yeah, I went 5, and to be honest, at times I had him even lower. I thought he had a genuinely terrible game. The goal obviously brings the rating up, but yeah, Rocker had a shit game for me.
I disagree, to be honest. I think first half, I'd probably agree, wasn't great, but I thought for second half we were starting to look decent in the midfield. But maybe the goal puts it up a little bit for me. I probably would have gone more of a 6, but I think you've been a little bit harsh on Rocker myself. Personally, I think you've been a little bit harsh on Rocker. Maybe I'm being a bit
I'm not in the best of moods, so probably.
Yeah, let's move on. I'll go with 7, but let's agree on the 6 then. Let's just agree on the 6. It's going to be easier, isn't it? Right, moving on to Sinisterra. What a goal off Sinisterra. Yeah. What a goal off Sinisterra, by the way. Gaza, Euro 96 style. Why did he come off, though? I can't. It's 2 games.
I can only assume he's not fit enough for the full 90.
I'm assuming that's the reason. So I'm not going to get too much into that. But for me, Phil, we have to be getting Sinisterra more involved in the game, because whenever he gets the ball, you feel like something's going to happen. I think Harrison and Aaronson, I think, are great, but Sinisterra goes up another level in terms of efficiency. Feels like every single time he gets the ball, I think he probably is our best player. I think potentially he is our best player. For me, the best way of doing this is playing in false 9, so you can keep Jack Harrison in his best position on the left, maybe move Harrison a little bit further wide and put 𝐾𝐄𝐃 in the 10 role just for the time being, or put Sinisterra up alongside Bamford. We have to get him more involved. On that right-hand side, for me, Sinisterra is being wasted. And that might sound mad, considering he scored 2 goals in his last 2 games from that position. But you look at the goals themselves, the isolated situations. We're not getting him into those situations enough for me. He has to play further inside or off that left-hand side. We have to find a way to get more out of Sinisterra. You can't be playing a talent like that so close to the touchline where he can't get inside and score goals, because that's what he's about. It's frustrating me, to be fair, Sinisterra. And I understand, the situation is that Harrison plays on the left. He's at his best on the left. Sinisterra is best on his left. We have to find the compromise. But for me, with the striker situation, surely it's an opportunity to put Sinisterra through the middle as a false 9. He's played that position before for Feyenoord. I think that's the way forward for the time being. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely agree with you in that Sinisterra, for me, I think his best position is off the left, not necessarily centrally. But, and obviously when people talk about penis ball, I know it isn't penis ball, but the 4-2-3-1 and how Jesse always likes to play quite narrow. I mean, it's quite obvious when I say it like this, but, Sinisterra has scored 2 goals in the last week from outside the box on his right foot, cutting in and shooting from distance. Jack Harrison is left-footed. If you put Jack Harrison on the right and let him do that, that would make it quite narrow, wouldn't it? And if you then have Brendan Aaronson in the middle as well, that is that narrowness. I don't really see why they can't just sort of both play on the other flank and be inverted wingers. But whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, I thought he was definitely disappointed to see him go off at the time he did. Obviously, I assume it is because he's not necessarily ready to play a full 90 yet, but 2 goals in 2 games and beginning to look like the Raphinha replacement that we've been sold.
Even Raphinha doesn't score that goal for me. Or as the awareness that you can get a shot off in that situation. I mean, you wouldn't even see Raphinha take on that bit of skill that you saw Sinisterra take on for the goal. For me, I don't think Raphinha even attempts that. I think Raphinha takes the ball into control and is looking up, but instead Sinisterra, in one quick motion, has literally lifted it over his head and thought, right, I can smash it from here. I'm not saying he's better than Raphinha. That's very early to go on that take. But he looks like he's going to get us a decent collection of goals this season, potentially hit top double figures, potentially get double figures this season for us.
Yeah.
But, he's special.
Generally speaking,
for me.
Yeah, I mean, I went lower. I angrily went through the team and took marks off everybody at full time, but he obviously was higher. So I ended up giving him a 6.5, but maybe I'll put it back up to a 7. But
What? Hang on a second.
I'm just angry with everyone.
Hang on. So you gave Sinisterra half a mark more than Robin Koch?
Yeah, I did.
Phil.
I just took marks off everyone because I was annoyed.
The chat is going to go mad, and I cannot defend you here. I cannot defend you. I'm just going to have to let the chat just do its thing here.
Mate, I was in a bad mood. I've done something in rashness, but I don't regret it. I'll bump him up to a 7.
Sinisterra is basically
recreated. More than a 7, mate.
Let me finish. Sinisterra is basically recreated Paul Gascoigne's goal in Euro '96. Robin Koch's been part of a back line that's conceded 5 goals, and you gave Sinisterra only half a mark more.
Yeah, I'll bump it up to a 7. It
was. Right, that's good of you. That's good of you, mate. A 1 mark more. That's good of you.
Mate, look, at the end of the game, I had such a vast difference between defense and attack, and when you look at how many chances we created and the lack of finishing, maybe it does sort of explain it. But the highest.
Robin Koch, by the way, I do like Robin Koch, but today you cannot tell me he was only half a mark more.
Yeah, well, at full time, the highest person I had in my back 5 was Koch, and I think he ended up on a 6.5, and then I bumped it down. But then the highest person I had.
So you had them on the same rating?
No, I had the attackers a lot higher. But
I need to take control here. Right, he's just. What is he on here? Same rating. Right, I'm going to let Phil in now that he's calmed down. And we're going to move on to Brendan Aaronson.
Aaronson. Let me finish the point.
No, I won't let you finish the point. Not when he's
on. The attacking players were higher.
Finish the point. Finish the point.
My point was the attacking players I had a lot higher, but then because we got Dick 5-2 and I was angry, I took points off them all. So Sinisterra was on
they conceded the goals.
Yeah, so he was on 7.5, and I bumped him down a full 1 because I was pissed off.
Okay, right. Let's move on. Move on. I cannot believe that. Our numbers.
You just said fucking Rafinha's not as good as Sinisterra. I can't believe you. I stayed quiet and let you get away with that.
Well, they're not. It's not. Sinisterra is not far off Rafinha level so far. What we're seeing, you can't say he isn't.
No comment.
Okay. Right. Okay. Let's move on to Brendan Aaronson.
Yeah.
I thought second half, it was bright. Second half, obviously not involved in any of the goals, but I thought there's a couple of times as well where there's some really tactical fouls on him that just weren't given. Again, not going to go on to the referee again, but some lovely bits of skill. I thought Brendan was all right. No, that's harsh. The last bit in terms of Tyler Roberts, I just totally agree with that. I just think, I don't think there's any problem with Brendan Aaronson's end products. He's just less direct than the likes of Sinisterra and Harrison. And I always expected, before the season even started, that Aaronson's numbers wouldn't be as amazing as the other players because he's more of like a third centre mid, and says he's just playing a little bit more further up the pitch than Rocker and Adams. He's the link-up option, the man who plays the pass before the goal kind of thing. And
the second assist.
That's the word I'm looking at for Phil. There's no problem for me with Brendan Aaronson end products. It's but I've gone about 6 today. I thought he did improve second half, maybe a 7, but 6 for me. Phil, take it away.
Again, this one I'm definitely not retracting because a lot of people are already sort of doing it. But I thought he was the least effective of the front 4 at all times today. To be honest,
I would agree with that. I'm not going to disagree with that.
I thought it was kind of an average performance for Brendan. He finished on a 6, and I kept him on a 6. I didn't actually bump him down any further. But I think the comparing him to Tyler Roberts isn't really fair. But it wasn't a game for him today, and it's annoying seeing Brentford being able to bring players like fucking 𝐷𝐻𝐿 Damsgaard off the bench, another one that we desperately wanted us to go for a year and a half ago, and we just didn't really seem to notice that a player like Aaronson just wasn't really suiting the game and replace him with something else. So, I don't know. I didn't really enjoy some of the substitutions today, but I don't know if you can actually blame them on Marsh. Did he have a part to play in the subs after he was sent off? So I don't know.
let's move on to Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison, I thought slightly better than Brendan Harrison, but not quite enough to give more than a 6. So I've gone 6.
Yeah.
Some nice delivery before half time. Thought he was okay. Jack Harrison. Again, probably second to Sinisterra in terms of most likely to get goals or assists for us this season.
Yeah.
I thought he was fine. 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I mean, this is one that I did bump down a full mark because when he came off, obviously, I thought we were in the game and could have gone on to get something from it. So I actually had him coming off at either somewhere between a 7 or a 7.5. I ended up bumping him down to a 6, but I did think he was quite clearly better than Aaronson in the first half, and I was a bit surprised and disappointed to see him go off at halftime because I thought he was having an all right game. I think the only problem with the first half in particular, in terms of us going forward, not defensively, was a little bit like what we did against Everton. It seemed to be we funnel the ball to the left-hand side. Jack Harrison has no one in the box to cross to, so it comes back. We funnel it to the right-hand side. There's no one in the box to cross to, so we funnel it back into the middle. Can't go wide, so we go back to the keeper. And then we just rinse and repeat. We do that quite a lot, which is frustrating to watch. But in terms of like taking responsibility on the ball, taking on his man and whipping in good balls this season, apart from set pieces, which for the last few games have been absolutely shit. I think Harrison is much improved and taking on like a much bigger role in the team this year. But yeah, I think if he would have stayed on, maybe the rating would have dropped even further. So yes, maybe 6 is fair.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, I was trying to flick. I was flicking between pages there. Sorry about that, mate. Let's move on to Joffy.
Yeah.
You gonna take it away, mate? I was going to lead you up there.
Okay. I thought better second half when Bamford came on. I was surprised again with the Harrison substitution. I thought if anyone needed to come off, I thought again Gelhardt was a bit ineffective the first half, but trying things. Confidence is clearly there. Wanted to have a shot from inside his own half. Had a couple from the edge of the box, and seemed to be the only thing that we were really sort of pushing first half. We didn't really create anywhere near enough, but second half, obviously, I thought linked up well with Bamford in particular. And I don't think the chip ball over the top for Bamford was actually offside, to be honest. But, one more decision to add in there that I disagree with from today. But yeah, I think it was an average performance from Joffy. We've obviously seen a lot better. He is on a bit of a run of not having scored now in 12 games. So I'd like to see him get himself on the score sheet as quick as possible. But yeah, it's good to see him getting minutes anyway. And yeah, fingers crossed goals will come.
Yeah, let's move on to the substitutions. I'm just getting sorry. What I was trying to do was get the list of substitutions up on my other tab here. 1 second, guys.
I can give you them in order if you want, mate.
Bamford. Let's start with Bamford.
Yeah. So yeah, Bamford off the bench.
Missed some chances, but got the chances. I thought he made a positive impact on the game.
Yeah.
But he got to get at least 1 today from the chances he had today, possibly even more than that. I mean,
Yeah.
6 for me. I thought his impact was positive. I have to say that. Yeah. The fact he's getting the chances, I think, is a positive as well.
Yeah.
Finishing.
I definitely think he makes a difference when he comes on, but in terms of the Pascal Struijk blasting a ball and him basically getting rid of it for Brentford off the line, it felt very Championship Bamford in terms of that didn't happen to him anymore in the first season in the Premier League when he got the 17 goals. And that was something that very much happened to him a lot in the Championship, blocking Jack Harrison's shots on the line.
Just to defend Bamford on that, I get why people are going low marks, but I still think I would rather us get the chances than someone who's just sitting on the edge of the area, not getting into the areas, not getting into situations. I think there was rustiness in terms of the finishing. I won't deny that. But similarly in the Championship, we were always a better team with Bamford in it. I know he's missing chances in the Championship, but we still are a better team with Bamford in there for me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, mate. And I think it made a difference second half in terms of how many chances we did create. Like I said, we ended up having more shots than them. But like you alluded to, we obviously had less shots on target than them. So obviously, we do need someone who is going to be reliable in their finishing. And obviously, the transfer window's closed now. So we need to get Bamford back up to speed quite quickly in terms of getting his finishing back to what it was in that first season in the Premier League. But just keeping him fit seems to be the most important thing at the minute. And I want to see us get to a point where we're no longer managing his minutes and just letting him actually play 90 minutes. I think that was the most frustrating thing with the programme notes and the sort of deadline day debacle with the striker and stuff. Obviously, hearing that we've got 2 international strikers when, Bamford's played for England once and Rodrigo's not played for Spain in 2 years. And between Joffrey and Bamford, neither of them have completed 90 minutes. Well, Joffrey's completed 90 minutes twice in his entire career for Leeds in the Premier League, and Bamford's not completed 90 minutes in the Premier League since last September and hasn't scored since Christmas. So, yeah, I think the striker situation is something that needs to sort itself out. Those 2 need to get fit and be able to play 90 minutes while Rodrigo's away. They both need to be able to get on the score sheet, get some confidence, and get on a run of form. And, the last 3 games, and it's not just on the strikers, but the last 3 games, bearing in mind how we started the season, have been really fucking embarrassingly disappointing. Brighton, obviously, you kind of make excuses because we were in the game and they're a good team, but we didn't deserve anything from the game. Everton felt like a loss to me, and an embarrassing one at that, to be fair. I didn't like the way we played, and you can blame referees all you like from that game and this game, but we need to create more chances in that Everton game and the Brighton game. And then today, when we create those chances, we need to get some of them on target and score goals. And, without our top scorer in the team anymore and out for a few weeks, where is it falling to? Because at the moment, from the last 2 games, it seems to be only Sinisterra. So, yeah.
I don't think we've got a problem scoring goals. I still don't think we've got a problem scoring goals. I think Jack
the strikers do. The 3 in behind them.
As a team, I still think
the 3 in behind them don't. Aaronson, Harrison, and Sinisterra have been involved in all but one of our goals this season now. Mm-hmm. But obviously, Rodrigo's the only striker to have been involved in any of the goals. We need to start seeing something from Bamford and Gelhardt over the next few games.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. But it was worrying me more with Bamford. If he came on and was totally ineffective, we looked worse as a team. And
I completely agree.
What I will say, I'm not defending Bamford for his misses. I'm not defending Bamford for his misses at all. But I will say that any striker outside that top 6, top 7, maybe Newcastle have got 𝐷𝐿 now. I say outside that top 7 or 8 teams, they're going to miss chances. It's the way it is. There's going to be moments where there's frustration. Yes, you might argue Bamford, but he has to score. He has to score at least 1 or 2 today to make those chances. But let's move on to... let's just go for numbers now for these last few players, because they've not really played enough minutes. Just after a number here, Phil, 𝐿𝐶𝐄𝐆 Somerville.
5.
I kind of agree with that. Nothing really to talk about, I don't think, on 𝐿𝐶𝐄𝐆.
Should have been a penalty. That's it, basically.
Yeah, I suppose. Klich.
6.
6-ish. He was all right when he came on. Not as good as what he has been. Okay, let's move on. That's something in there. Luke Ayling, let me just be positive here. I thought Luke Ayling got forward really, really well and wasn't just involved in the goal, created a couple of chances. I've gone a 7 actually on Luke Ayling. Okay.
I went 6, but I'm happy to bump up at least half a mark if needs be, or go the full hog and give you a 7.
It was the Luke Ayling of 18 months ago for me today. Very positive. Very, very
I wasn't
positive.
expecting him to be in the squad today, to be honest. And then obviously
certainly not coming on. That was a nice, pleasant surprise today. So for me, Ayling and Cooper have made a real strong case for him to come in against Forest and just get back a little bit of experience, 100%. Bit of leadership into the back line. 100%. But not Ayling at centre back though. Ayling at right back. Strictly Ayling at right back. Right. And the other players again, Greenwood.
Just Greenwood.
Can we? I can't even give Greenwood's played 4 minutes. We can't give Greenwood a rating. He's not played enough minutes to get a rating.
We can continue to give his free kicks as 3 out of 10 because they're still shit.
Do
it properly like you used to in the under-23s. Where have they gone?
Yeah, our set pieces in general haven't been great, but I think now's the time to say thanks very much for watching, guys. Frustrating day. You should check out our other post-match content. CK's done the post-match, live post-match. I've done the post-match as well, summarising the game. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't done already. Hit the subscribe button as well, and we will try and let's just move on from this absolute. Let's see, but yeah, it's one of them. one of them. I'm going to leave it there. Oh,
Don't think we should.
-1. -1. Let's go. Let's finish.